Hey, gang, it's Bob Bannister with you for another edition of Rock Talk right here with CGCM Rock Radio. Hey, do us a favor, click that like, share, and subscribe button. Keep up to date on all things Rock Talk. And if there's an artist out there you'd like us to try and talk to, just drop us a comment and let us know. It's just that easy. So, it's really, really cool the way that there's so many new artists popping up all over the place, not just here in Canada or in Australia, as I have been primarily staying lately, but also in Europe. And one of the greatest bands that I've discovered lately is called Her Fury. They're out of the UK, and I caught up with Cash, the guitarist and founding member of the band, and had a really great chat with him about his influences, the band, where they come from, where they see themselves going down the road, and what the music scene is like in London. And it was a really great chat. I had a really great time talking with him. And you know what? I think we're going to do this again sometime down the road. So let's step inside the Rock Talk studio, sit down with Cash from the new band from London, Her Fury, on this edition of Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio. All right, and as promised, we are joined by Cash from the band Her Fury. Cash, welcome into Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio, my friend.
Hey, thanks so much. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. And your single Feed the Fire is now out, and it is on the CGCM Rock Radio Top 20 Countdown poll. So everybody go out and vote for it. You've only got a week to vote for it.
Amazing. No, thanks for getting us on there. Appreciate the spin.
You're quite welcome. So tell us the story of Her Fury.
Yeah, interested. It kind of came from I was just been playing guitar for she's close to 20 years now,
Mm.
and met a really cool drummer. And we were jamming for a couple months, and we had a whole bunch of riffs just coming out of rehearsal, and we are like, oh, what are we gonna do? And we previously we had both kind of played in bands with male vocalists, and we were like, well, let's give the female vocalist a shot and see how it goes down. And Fran walked into the rehearsal room and was blew us away. So it was kind of born out of that trial.
Very cool. And you said give the female vocalist a try. It seems like so many bands nowadays are going that way. We're getting a lot of female fronted bands, a lot of female solo artists, even in the world of rock, isn't aren't we?
Yeah, 100%. I think because a lot of them are really honed in the vocal craft really well, and I think naturally the female vocalist can sit quite nicely above, especially some of the heavier rock riffs.
Hmm.
So they do it quite well. It's quite hard to find some of the guys that can get up into those ranges.
Yeah, you're not going to find a Rob Halford walking in off the street.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So speaking of Priest, where do you draw your influences from there?
Yeah, mainly going back. It's funny. It's kind of like going back. I feel like when I go the further back I go, the further forward I go. It's
Mm.
so yeah, mainly drawing from like the old kind of blues stuff, and then going into like your Zeppelins and your Hendrixes, and then obviously leading into like your Guns N' Roses and
Oh
the
yeah.
Velvet Revolvers and Slash the Snake Pit stuff, and a lot of that comes through. So it's a lot of the blues stuff mixed into going into true blues like Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff and pulling that into the rock and roll stuff. Really, that's kind of where we draw a lot of stuff from. So like the Aerosmiths and things. And we've kind of just tried to mix it. We've tried to like kind of just put our kind of modern spin on it. Um, with, kind of the technology and the stuff that we have these days. So we're mainly drawing from those types of players from the past. Yeah, and just keeping it as raw as possible, I think, in a kind of overproduced day and age, in a way.
And are you finding over in London there that the electric blues, the Stevie Ray Vaughan style of music, Samantha Fish even making a big comeback onto the scene, as well as harder, heavier rock?
Yeah, yeah, which is really exciting because I think it's with a lot of people because they're kind of getting bored, I think, of just like the kind of same produced stuff or the overproduced stuff, and they're really going back to a lot of guys really playing their instruments and yeah, really drawing from those like Joe Bonamassa type of
Hmm.
raw playing styles.
So, what's your songwriting process like? Is it do you come into the studio or with the rehearsal space with a somewhat of an idea, or do people come in with a fully fleshed out song and say, "Hey, here you go, learn it"?
It normally all comes from a jam. So,
Okay.
yeah, one of us will normally come in with a riff, either happening off the guitar or off the bass. And the cool thing about the drum is he's got a really good interpretation of how, yeah, just of how like kind of the grooves are moving at the time. So we'll end up just, flashing through a bunch of riffs and really working on parts. And Fran, the vocalist, does something that, vocals don't generally do, but she just sits and she listens. She'll sit there for at least a couple of hours and just watch us jam and listen, and she'll just be sitting, taking notes and thinking melody wise. So
Hmm.
she's not coming in there trying to, playing the instrument. She's actually just thinking melody and vocal the whole time and looking for that like that hook or that spark. And when she finds it in the room, then she kind of like belts it out, and we all just kind of stop and are like, okay, this is something that could work.
Very cool.
So
Very cool. But how do you handle disagreements? Like if say she threw out there saying, "Hey guys, stop. This is where we need to work on," and the rest of the band's just kind of like, "Nah, not really." How do you handle stuff like that?
yeah, it's always an interesting thing. We kind of, I mean, we do have those clashes, but I think that we've kind of played now long enough together that we know when we are clashing on something, it means we kind of got to look deeper into it.
Right.
Which means we kind of got to dive a bit deeper and go, actually, is there something here that we're missing, or is there something that we need to kind of like pull apart? Whereas when something flows quite easily, it's easy. But sometimes the ones when you actually dive in deeper tend to come out a little bit better. It's yeah, interesting.
Right, right. And with Feed the Fire out now, are you working towards a full-length project, or is the band kind of going the way that a lot of acts are going here in 2026 and just releasing single after single after single?
Yeah, it's I think it's trying to just keep up with kind of how things are laid out these days. So we kind of just we've got one more single that'll kind of come out next month, and then we'll kind of batch it together as an EP.
Right.
Um and then yeah, we're just gonna consistently release singles up to the end of the year and then batch it as a record and vinyl. So that'll be really cool.
But it's at the same time, though, it's got to be frustrating for a newer band like yourself to, be putting out content all the time and know that the record company really isn't paying to do that any longer. Like the big record companies, I mean.
100%. I think it's more like finding the attention now, and the faster you can churn out something, you gain more attention. But it's really hard to kind of gain that balance between creating quality, which takes time,
Hmm.
um, and yet being able to put it out at a fast enough rate to actually still keep things flowing.
So what's the
So
rock
yeah.
scene like in London? Like is it a vibrant scene? Like I know in Toronto it's just starting to pick up and become big again. Is it the same way in London?
Yeah, it's the clubs are always full with guys playing. The rock and roll's slightly different. So I know like more the American side and the rock and roll that comes out of the
Mm.
US and Canada has got more of kind of a blues feel in it, whereas it's some of the rock that comes out of London doesn't. It's kind of got its own kind of brand on it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think we kind of weirdly lean more into because of the influences coming out of a lot of the American stuff. I think we kind of
Mm.
cross over the pond into that kind of genre or that style. So yeah, it's quite interesting, but there's a lot of bands coming out that are really underground, and especially with the new like with the social media stuff, you just discover so many
Oh
brilliant
yeah.
players, that like were never there before.
Absolutely, absolutely. But at the same time, you've got to walk a kind of a fine line too, because you want those American influences, but you want to also be viable on the continent as well, don't you?
100%. So I think, to be honest, I think when music is good or the song's written well, it'll cross into both places. Um, yeah, as long as the quality is good and the songwriting's good, I think you're gonna be fine.
But going
So
back to your own influences, do you have that one guilty pleasure act that you listen to all the time, but you don't really want to tell anybody about it? Like myself, I'm a rocker through and through, but God, Linda Ronstadt comes on the radio or wherever, and I just got to stop. I got to listen to her.
oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, Kate Bush is quite a
Oh
big one for
yeah.
me. Um, and I don't know how into the rock and roll if that works, but yeah, whenever her stuff comes on, I'm like, ooh, this is nice.
Very cool. So what does the rest of 2026 look like? I know you said you're planning some more releases, but lots of shows and gigs coming up.
Yeah, so we're kind of playing monthly now. So we got shows coming up in May, June, July, kind of all the way to the end of the year, and
Mm.
then we're just gonna kind of release every month, and then we're back and recording in April again. Yeah, and we've got some videos kind of on the go, so there's a lot going on. It's like a monthly push out of stuff with a lot of writing in between. So it's exciting. It's exciting. There's a lot of good stuff happening.
And in that scene, though, is there that one club that you guys play, and it's just like, you know what, this place is home. It just feels like home the moment you walk in, and you know everybody knows your name,
Yeah.
so to speak.
There is that. I mean, it's mainly up and down there's a Camden a strip in London called, Camden Town.
Right.
And there's a strip with like, four or five different clubs. Um that are just you go in and you're like, man, that's yeah, good to be back in the hood.
Right
So
on. Right on. So, what's one piece of advice you'd like to pass on to younger musicians who are maybe just starting to put together their garage band or just picking up that guitar for the first time? Something you wish that you had have received when you were starting out in your musical journey.
learn to record yourself. Um so that anything that you're putting down, ideas wise, when you're meeting, if you're a musician and you're meeting vocalists or vocalists are meeting bassists, when you learn to kind of get the recording down, it really helps craft a lot of your playing, and your ideas. And it kind of becomes this tangible thing because there's this beauty of like, you get this idea that comes through into your playing and you're able to take that and you're actually able to transfer it into the speakers and have it come out.
Mm,
And just that little thing allows you to then see your project going, whoa, my idea can actually come to life, which means it can become something bigger to someone else. So that little connection is quite an important thing, I think.
very cool. Now, one thing I always like to ask artists when I'm talking to them is on stage, have you guys had a spinal tap moment, where no matter what you do, the wheels just fall off, but somehow you manage to rescue it?
That normally, to be honest, because we have quite a lot of improvisation and jamming that happens in our sets,
Right.
you never kind of know from night to night. So we can have those sets where you're like, man, everything went perfectly tonight, and it just like, it popped off. But then you can have those sets where you're like, I thought it was okay, but you just listen to the playback and you're like, that was sketchy as can be, you know. So yeah, it ranges from night to night, which is interesting.
All right. So now before we wrap things up here, I like to do this little thing I call this or that. It's got nothing to do with music, just some silly questions, top of the head answers. If you're ready, we'll just jump right on in.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
All right. Pizza or burger?
Ah, pizza.
Camping or hotel stay?
Oh, Camden.
Sweet snacks or spicy snacks?
Ah, sweets all the way.
Netflix or YouTube?
Oh, YouTube.
YouTube, right on.
YouTube.
Texting or phone call?
Oh, depends who it is, but phone call.
And finally, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's good because us Canadians invented that.
Oh man, it's my favorite.
There you
Hawaiian
go.
pizza.
There you go.
Definitely.
Right on. Cash from Her Fury from London, UK. Take a moment, shamelessly self promote the band and self promote what's coming up in the near future, my friend.
Well, you can find us on any herfury.com, and we're all over Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. Spotify as well. So kind of watch out because we'll be releasing kind of monthly or every kind of 6 to 8 weeks. We've got some new stuff coming out. So yeah, if and then if you're in town or we're in town, and the shows line up, yeah, come down and hang out and watch. So that'd be great.
Very, very cool. One more time, Cash from the band Her Fury. I want to thank you for joining us on this edition of Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio. Hey, everybody, click that like, share, and subscribe button. Show Her Fury some love. Show some love to CGCM Rock Radio, and we'll catch you again next time on another edition of Rock Talk.